Hello and welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to talk about something that goes way beyond your typical to-do lists and calendar hacks. We're diving into a framework for organization that's all about structuring your entire life, not just your schedule. Think about it. You've got your calendar all blocked out, your tasks are prioritized, you're hitting every deadline. You're organized, right? So why does it sometimes feel like you're just spinning your wheels? If you've ever felt super busy but kind of directionless, you're definitely not alone. And you know what? There's a really good reason for it. And that brings us to this core idea from organization expert David Machinant. He argues that we've become so obsessed with time management that our whole definition of organization has gotten way too narrow. For him, true organization isn't just about managing the clock. It's about structuring your entire life. And there's a hidden danger in focusing only on your schedule. See, when you do that, you can become an absolute master of short-term efficiency. You get a ton done every single day, but you might not have a bigger picture in mind. David points out this is how people look back years later with this huge sense of regret, feeling like they never really did what they truly wanted to do. So let's just put these two ideas side by side for a second. On one hand, you've got your traditional time management, all about schedules, tasks, and being efficient. But on the other hand, you have life organization. And that's a much, much bigger concept that's focused on your direction, your mindset, your purpose. It's the difference between organizing your day and organizing your destiny. So to tackle this, David came up with this really cool concept he calls Organization Puissance 4, which basically translates to Organization Power 4. It's a simple but incredibly powerful framework designed to bring real balance and effectiveness to every single part of your life. Okay, so what does it actually do? Well, it's a way of thinking that shifts your focus. It structures organization around 4 essential pillars of life. And the goal here isn't just to be more productive, it's to build a life that's stable, well-supported, and genuinely fulfilling. To make this crystal clear, David uses this brilliant analogy. So just picture this for a second. Imagine your life, all of it, your well-being, your success, your happiness, is a ceiling. And that ceiling is being held up by 4 distinct pillars. Now, what happens if one of those pillars is weak or shorter than the others? The entire structure becomes unstable, it starts to wobble, and that is the core insight. You can't have a stable, solid life when your foundational pillars are all out of balance. All right, so you're probably wondering, what are these 4 pillars that are so crucial for a balanced life? Let's dive in and break them down one by one. Okay, first up is life organization. This is the big picture stuff, your direction, your purpose, your life's project. Next is your internal organization. This is all about what's going on inside your head, your mindset, your beliefs, your whole psychological state. Third is time organization. Now, this is the classic one we all focus on, right? Managing our schedules and tasks. And finally, number 4 is environment organization. So the people and places you literally surround yourself with. And here's where it gets really clever. In French, the pillars are vie, intérieur, temps, and environmentaux. Notice the first letters, V-I-T-E, vite, which is the French word for fast. And that is no accident. It's this brilliant little mnemonic suggesting that when all 4 pillars are aligned, you can move forward in life effectively and, well, fast. Okay, this is the point where the framework stops being just a cool theory and becomes a really personal tool. The real power comes from applying it to yourself. So come on, let's do a quick self-assessment right now to see where your own pillars stand. Go ahead and grab a piece of paper, or you can just do this in your head, that's fine. I want you to give yourself a score from 1 to 10 for each of the 4 pillars. A 1 means it's really weak and needs a lot of work, and a 10 means you feel it's rock solid. And hey, be honest with yourself. No one else is going to see this. All right, let's go through them. For life, how clear is your direction? Do you have a North Star? Rate that from 1 to 10. For your internal state, how are you really doing inside? Are you held back by doubt or negative self-talk? Score it. For time, do you feel like you're in control of your schedule, or is it controlling you? And for environment, do the people and places around you lift you up, or do they kind of drag you down? Go ahead and pause this if you need to, and give yourself a score for each one. Now, take a look at this example. This chart shows someone who feels really strong in their life direction and their time management. See how those are the biggest chunks? But notice how tiny the slices are for their internal state and their environment. This just illustrates the problem perfectly. Being great at scheduling can't make up for a toxic friend group or a poor mindset. The entire structure is just wobbly. So look back at your own scores. Where's the imbalance? Which pillar is the shortest? I'm telling you, just identifying that weakest link is the single most important step you can take toward building a more stable, more organized life. Just having this awareness is a huge win. Seriously. But awareness without action doesn't really change much, does it? So the real question is, now that you've identified your weakest pillar, what's your first step? The goal here is not to get a perfect 10 in everything overnight. It's to rehauser, as David says, to raise up the lowest pillar to create more balance. You can start by identifying just one small action. Maybe it's reading an inspiring book, or having a real talk with a friend, or consciously deciding to spend less time with that negative person. Remember, the goal is balance, not perfection. And this all comes back to a really powerful idea from David. He basically says, you have to realize that you have something to achieve on this earth, and that nobody, absolutely nobody but you, can decide what that is. When you think about it, the power and the responsibility are all yours. So I'll leave you with this final question. Looking at your scores right now, what is the one tiny, totally manageable step you can take today to start building up your weakest pillar and bringing your life into better balance? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.